welcome back. My name is Nick, and I have Taylor here with me, a super fan of Succession, to break down Kendall. We're doing a deep dive on Kendall. We just did one on Logan. We did trailer reaction videos. We're also going to be doing breakdowns of season 4 when the episodes air. So subscribe to get all the Succession content here. Oh my gosh, Kendall Roy. This is going to be
Kendall.
good. Do you want to do a brief introduction on Kendall really quickly?
Kendall Roy is Logan's second oldest and a prime to lead. Sorry, that sentence doesn't read well, but it says, and a prime to lead Waystar when Logan retires.
Yeah.
Dies. However, he has yet to gain the full trust of his father.
Will he ever?
That's Kendall. Well,
Kendall
not.
is looking for approval in everyone. If it's the media, I think his first Twitter, anything. I mean, I think his first like business deal I think season 1, right? He's like looking for approval from the guy he's trying to make a deal with. He's like, yo, bro, homie. And he's like trying to be like all cool and hip. And then even when the guy walks away, he like wants to offer him more money to be his friend almost. It's like he's just looking for approval, especially from his dad, the media. We saw that in season 3. We know it's like the way he views himself through media and jokes, and like he's laughing whenever he's laughing at them making fun of him, and all his team around him is like, that's not cool, man. Like that's not how it works. It's so twisted the way he sees himself.
It is twisted because I think he also wants to be independent, and he wants, because remember in the first episode, before you even know Logan or see him, the security guard or his guy is like, should we call your dad? And Kendall's like, should we call your dad? Like, why would you say that? And it's like, because you're not your own person. You're obviously just like a stand-in for your dad. And he hates that, but he also wants everyone's approval. So like all characters on Succession, it's complicated.
It is definitely complicated. And one of the moments I liked a lot in the last season was his party, his 40th birthday party. I think he realizes he really has no true friends, and how he is alone, and how his perception is like he didn't want to do his speech, and he was like over it, and he just realized like he has no self-esteem, and he has like he's like empty inside. He's known as the daddy's boy, basically, right? Like I think there's even terms like that too, like, oh, you're daddy, or you're only here because you're like so many times. And he's just really trying to make a name for himself, and he's just in the shadow of his father, which is going to be almost impossible to climb out of that shadow.
And he has a huge backstory that we know a little bit about it, but he had huge issues with drug abuse. So I don't know how recent that is. By the time that we are in season 1, I think it's only like 2 years since like his low, like, you know, when we meet him, he's like just kind of coming out of, or getting into his new normal, maybe. So that's a big part of his story too. Yeah.
And I was always so curious why he even does drugs. Is it just to be cool and hip? Like, is that how it started too? Like the perception of like, oh, when I'm drugs, I'm like cool and stuff? Or is it like his place to go to like find reassurance and like cope? Yeah. So it's also very interesting too. Like he misses the family counseling meeting to go get high. And it's just like, and that was supposed to be like their moment to like connect his, even though it was all set up and it was all, but it's like he's not willing to ever be open, I guess, with his family or with anyone, and he kind of bottles up inside. And poor guy.
Well, we saw him release that though in the last episode of season 3 when he came clean about kind of like second-degree murdering somebody, or, you know, by omission. He might not have been in the right state of mind, but basically he gets in a drunk driving accident and kills a like teenager, you know, young adult boy. So, and it's a secret that Logan has over him, and it's like killing him, and then he gets it out to his siblings right before they confront Logan. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind going into the new season, that knowing Succession, they start the season like literally like right where it left off. So you know, when we start episode 1, I think that will have just happened. So you know, that'll be interesting.
Because he has nowhere else to go. He has no more friends. He exhausted a lot of his resources and connections. And then, like, even when he offered a buyout to his dad said no. And I don't think his dad would ever allow him to do that, because that's the easy way out. And I think his dad always wants them to, all of his children, to go the hardest route possible, like the route he went through. And we did a whole breakdown on Logan, talking about, he grew up with nothing, and he was beaten as a child, and he may have had given his children like physical abuse in that we haven't seen. We can definitely see his anger and stuff when he like gets pissed off and stuff, but we know a lot of mental abuse has happened to all the children, and it's
at the very least.
Yeah, and you could just has taken effect on all of them. But I feel like Kendall had really, I know he's not the oldest, but you think he's the oldest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely fills that role.
And it's funny because I think even Connor looks up to him as the oldest. Even though he's always like, remember, I'm the eldest, but it's like, yeah, you're not the eldest, because he's basically, and if anyone was to truly ever run the company, I think it would be him. But what's also very interesting, too, is how in season 2, Logan basically crushes his dreams. He basically squeezed the life out of his son. And it was so interesting because he was very in season 1, he was very proud, or not proud, but like confident. He was very confident. Even like he's listening to rap music, right? In like the first season, the first episode, and he's like singing and stuff, but then it cuts to him singing in the car, and he's like a terrible rapper and stuff. But he thinks he's like the best hype man, for himself. And he's done that throughout the other seasons, and it was so interesting to see Logan basically crush his dreams and basically make it feel like you're never going to amount to anything, and you're never going to have this company. So it was very interesting to see him do that, and then also get on another high, like a roller coaster. And like season 3, he was back at it. He was confident. He had his shoes. He dressed the part. He looked the part. He knows how, he grew up in media and television, TV. So he knows appearances, everything. So he can appear to look like the big guy and the man, but it's like, is he though? Or is it just all a facade with nothing underneath?
Just speaking to the writing of the show, there's just like so many good details.
Yeah.
About I just love that his son is named after Allen Iverson. Like, I feel like that's just right. Exactly it. And there is that scene in season 3 where I think it is after his birthday party, where he realizes he has no friends. He's like wrapped in like old cartoon bed sheets that he probably bought off eBay in like an attempt to feel something. It's just like, how did they do this? It's so perfect.
Yeah, it's so perfect. And yeah, they did such a great job. The acting is so great. Great casting too. I can't imagine anyone else playing that role. He does such a good job of acting like he knows it all while he actually knows nothing, or the persona. And it's so good. And it's so funny because he wants to be the better version of Logan, or at least he sees himself as like the righteous version of Logan, right? Like he says he's going to change it up, or he's going to do right by the company. Or even when he like pitches to his siblings, like when like we're going to take over, it's like, we're going to do it right. Like, we're not going to have corruption and stuff like that. But it's like, it's easy to say that. And then let's see what happens once you kill a guy, and then your dad has to cover it up. So they've never really lost anything. They never really struggled. And they never really had to work for anything. So I kind of see where Logan comes at, like everything was literally handed to you on a silver platter. And it's like, now it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah. So I do think that with Kendall, though, there was a lot of discussion last season about, because he was kind of like posturing as like, I'm doing this because I support women and like, that sort of thing. And it's like, does he really believe that? But there are times where Logan says something, and really all of them, Shiv, Roman, and Kendall, look very like disturbed. Like, I feel like they do have like a moral. They have morality somewhere, and Logan just does not. Yeah. So I guess that's just something to note, that I do think Kendall is sincere in some of his convictions. So
most
what
definitely
will happen? Who knows?
All of them compared to Logan, yes. on that note, just let you know that we're going to be doing breakdown on characters and stuff. Just getting excited, ramping up to season 4. Comment down below other topics and theories and fun stuff you would like us to cover for Succession. I might have said Severance by accident because we're also going to be covering Severance too. Any outie, go to AsArt Space for shirts. I get them mixed up, and we just came off of His Dark Materials. What's up?
Could they win a shirt, right?
Yes. By commenting. Taylor's right. You have a chance to be entered to win one of our shirts. We have more shirt designs coming out. Subscribe to stay updated. Go to asart.space for audio, video links, and your shirt links. And we'll see you on the next AsArt. The Roys are back in town. The Roys are back in town.